I never thought I'd be the person sitting in a quiet, empty apartment questioning every single relationship I have, but here I am, and I honestly need to know if I'm the monster everyone in my family says I am. I just watched my younger brother, Leo, smirk at me while standing over the mangled, smoking wreckage of my brand new Tesla Model S Plaid, a car I worked 80-hour weeks for 3 years to afford, and tell me, with the most punchable grin I've ever seen, that I shouldn't worry because Mom and Dad would just make me forgive him anyway. He actually had the audacity to say, "It's just a car, bro, don't be a buzzkill," while the lithium batteries were practically still hissing. I ended up calling the police on my own flesh and blood and filing a full report for grand theft auto and property destruction, and now my entire extended family is blowing up my phone, calling me a traitor and a heartless machine. Was I wrong for finally drawing a line in the sand, or would you have let your own brother get away with destroying your hard-earned life just because you share the same DNA? To understand how we got to that twisted metal on the side of the road, you have to understand the dynamic of the Miller household. I'm 30 and Leo is 22. From the moment he was born, he was the miracle baby. My parents had struggled to conceive a second child, so when Leo arrived, he wasn't just a son, he was a golden icon. I was the reliable one, the one who got straight A's, worked a part-time job at 16, and never asked for a dime. Leo, on the other hand, was the kid who just needed a little extra grace. That extra grace translated into 20 years of zero accountability. When he failed out of community college, my parents bought him a new gaming laptop to cheer him up. When he got caught shoplifting in high school, my dad paid the store off and told me not to mention it because it would ruin Leo's self-esteem. I moved out as soon as I could, went into software engineering, and built a life for myself from scratch. I've always been a car guy, and the Tesla Model S Plaid was my absolute dream. I'm talking about the carbon fiber spoiler, the yoke steering wheel, the sub-2-second 0 to 60, the whole works. I saved every bonus, skipped vacations, and finally, last month, I took delivery. It was the physical manifestation of all my late nights and sacrifices. Last weekend, I made the mistake of driving it home for my mother's 50th birthday dinner. I knew Leo would be there, and I knew he'd be jealous, but I didn't think he'd be suicidal or delusional. The moment I pulled into the driveway, Leo was outside. He didn't say happy birthday to Mom. He didn't even say hey to me. He just circled the car like a shark. He kept asking for the key card, saying he just wanted to sit in it and feel the interior. I told him flat out, Leo, no, this isn't a toy. It's $100,000 machine with more horsepower than you know how to handle. Stay away from it. He rolled his eyes, gave that signature dismissive laugh of his, and walked inside. During dinner, the tension was thick. My parents kept dropping hints about how lucky I was and how it must be nice to have so much extra money while your brother is struggling to find his path. I ignored it. I've heard the guilt, tripping for a decade. I finished my meal, hugged my mom, and realized I'd left my jacket in the hallway. I went to grab it, and that's when I noticed my keys, the Tesla key card I'd left on the side table, were gone. My heart dropped into my stomach. I ran to the window just in time to see the distinctive LED headlights of my Plaid flashing as the car backed out of the driveway at a ridiculous speed. Leo was behind the wheel. I sprinted outside, yelling, but he floored it. If you've ever seen a Plaid take off, you know it's like a rocket ship. He vanished in seconds. I stood there in the dark, shaking with a mix of rage and pure, unadulterated fear. 10 minutes later, I got the call, not from Leo, but from a neighbor 3 blocks away. There's a sharp curve near the entrance of our neighborhood that people always misjudge. Leo had tried to show off, likely pinned the accelerator, lost control of the torque, and slammed sideways into a concrete retaining wall. By the time I ran there, the car was a total loss. The front axle was snapped, the side curtain airbags had deployed, and the beautiful midnight silver paint was shredded. Leo was standing on the sidewalk, barely a scratch on him, looking at the wreck with his hands in his pockets. When he saw me, he didn't apologize. He didn't look scared. He just smirked and said those words that changed everything. "Mom and Dad said you'd be cool about it. It's just a car, bro. You're rich. Just get another one. Don't be a buzzkill." So that is the situation I was standing in, looking at the wreckage of my hard work while my brother laughed in my face. I had a choice to make right then and there, protect my family's peace, or finally hold him accountable for a crime. Before I tell you the absolute nuclear option I chose and the fallout that followed, I want you to pause right now. Go down to the comments and tell me honestly, if your siblings stole and destroyed your most prized possession and then mocked you for it, would you protect them, or would you call the cops? I really want to know if I'm the only one who thinks family doesn't give you a license to steal. I didn't scream. I didn't hit him. I just pulled out my phone and dialed 911. Leo's smirk finally started to fade when he heard me giving the dispatcher the location and reporting a stolen vehicle involved in an accident. He started stammering, saying, "Wait, what are you doing? It's me. It's Leo." My parents arrived a few minutes later, having heard the crash, and the scene turned into a circus. My mother was hysterical, not because her son could have died, but because she saw the police lights. My father kept trying to push my phone down, telling me, "We'll pay for it. Just tell the officers you gave him permission." I looked my dad in the eye and asked, "With what money? You're still paying off your second mortgage. You can't afford $100, let alone 100,000. He stole it, and he's going to face the consequences." When the officers arrived, I told them the truth. I told them I did not give him the keys, that he took them without my knowledge, and that I wanted to press charges. Leo was handcuffed right there in front of the neighbors. My mother fell to her knees, sobbing that I was destroying the family, over metal and glass. The aftermath has been a living nightmare. Leo spent the night in jail and is now facing felony charges for grand theft and reckless driving. My insurance company is refusing to cover the claim unless I follow through with the prosecution because it was a non-permissive user, theft. If I drop the charges, I'm out $110,000. If I keep them, my brother might go to prison. My parents have gone completely off the deep end. They've blocked me on everything after sending a flurry of texts calling me vile, greedy, and no longer their son. My aunts and uncles have joined in, saying I should have just taken the loss to keep the peace. But here's the thing, since the arrest, I found out Leo has done this before with other people's property, and my parents always bailed him out secretly. This was just the first time he hit someone who wouldn't stay quiet. The car is gone, my family is fractured, and I'm being treated like a villain for wanting my brother to grow up. I've decided to move forward with the testimony. I'm not dropping the charges. I realized that by protecting him, my parents were actually destroying him, and if he doesn't learn now, the next thing he hits might not be a wall. It might be a person. This whole experience has taught me that blood might be thicker than water, but it's not thicker than respect and basic human decency. I lost my car, but I think I also finally lost the weight of trying to be the perfect son in a family that only values the prodigal one. If being cool means letting people walk all over you and destroy your life's work, then I'm perfectly fine being the buzzkill of the century. I'm moving to a different city next month, and I'm not leaving a forwarding address for anyone who thinks I owe them my silence. Like this video if you think I did the right thing by holding him accountable, and subscribe if you want to hear more stories about people finally standing up to toxic family dynamics. I'd love to hear your final thoughts on this whole mess in the comments. Am I the jerk here? Or did Leo finally get what was coming to him? I'll see you all in the next story.